So it's now the next day, and I am about a little over 70% of the way through the book right now. My thoughts have changed a little bit on the book. I'm not as bored anymore because there's a lot of like friendship building, and now the town is like, let me rephrase, some people in the town are trying to like shut down the Packhorse Library, which makes sense because it's women and this is the 30s, and men just really had the audacity watching all these women like go through hardships and kind of like build their friendships they're building. There's a little bit of romance over here, but it's more about just like how amazing these women are for their community. And I just feel like they're really not getting the respect that they should be and that they deserve. So we're just kind of watching that happen, and right now there's been like this horrible flood that happened in the town, and we're watching everything go down like that. It's kind of like scary almost, like what's gonna happen, what next. There was a horrible part in the book last night where I was like, a few tears were dropped because of this horrible thing that happened. I don't want to say it without like giving it away, but yeah, it wasn't like an emotional cry like from any sort of like relationship or like sadness from that, but it was more of like, yeah, it was definitely a thing. But yeah, I'm just chugging along. I think I have like about 100 pages left, and right now I'm about to make some coffee and then get to editing because I have this video that's like totally done. I just need to edit it. So I'm gonna do that for the afternoon and then like go back and forth reading, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna finish the book today, so I'll come back to you probably when that's done. I officially finished The Giver of Stars, but I honestly am gonna like take some time and I'll talk about it later. I do have to go to work, but I have like half an hour. So I'm gonna start another book, and I definitely want like some sort of romancy situation. So I have Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid, or I have In 5 Years. I can't decide. I'm gonna read the back of them. I know Maybe in Another Life is like in summer. That doesn't really super bother me, but I'm gonna like quickly read the back of them and then decide. You know what, honestly, I think I'm just gonna go with this one. Basically, it just says age, and one night she goes to bed and then she wakes up in a totally different apartment with a totally different ring on her finger with a different man, and she gets to spend 1 hour 5 years in the future before she comes back to her life. So now I'm like super intrigued, so I'm gonna go ahead and start this, and then I'll talk to you later about The Giver of Stars and then how I'm feeling about this book too. Girl, we need to talk. Okay, so it's been a couple days. First day of my new job. I don't know if I had said that previously, but it was the first day of my new job, and it went great. You probably don't care, but there you go. So I finished The Giver of Stars 2 days ago. And this book, I have a lot of thoughts. I ended up giving this a 3 stars. And I think that was a fair rating. It was definitely a hard book to get through. I mean, the margins were small and the font was like decently small, so it did feel like a while. And probably like the first, at least just the first half of the book, there was like really nothing going on. It was basically just background information and what was happening, and there wasn't much going on. The second half of the book, things definitely start to pick up, but and I don't mean this in a negative way because I really respect the topic and I think it's super important to talk about, but when I was reading it, it felt like I was reading a book for school, if that makes sense. And I like nonfiction books. I mean, I've only read Kristen Hanna's not nonfiction, historical fiction. And I've only read a couple other ones, so maybe I don't actually enjoy it as much as I thought, but I just felt like it was really hard to get through. But at the end of the day, I still respect what the book was about. Basically, I know I explained it slightly in another clip, but it's like set in Depression era, Eastern Kentucky, middle of nowhere, mountain town. And basically it was during the time period where it was part of the time period when Eleanor Roosevelt implemented the new traveling libraries, and it basically was about these women in this small town who came together and had a pack horse library, one of them of Kentucky, and it kind of explained them and the relationships together. And I did like that aspect of it, like the aspect of like womanhood and how like there was this horrible flooding in the town and these women were out there saving these people, and you know they're on horseback day in and day out, no matter the weather, to deliver these books to people. So I do think it's an extremely important topic, but it just felt really slow. And it felt like one of those books where it's like, this could be amazing. Like, I don't want to say that. Where it's like, it could be great, but it was just good. If that made sense. And some wild things started to happen at the end and things like that, which I won't get into just because it's going to spoil it. But I would recommend this book, but it would definitely be to a very specific audience, if that makes sense. But yeah, 3 stars. This is the book that we had for a book club this month, so I'm excited to see what everybody else has to say about it because we have book club tomorrow. So I'm excited to see their opinions as well. But there was one part where there was a couple parts where I was like smiling. One part I had like a tear coming down because there is one part in the book where I was like, whoa, that was definitely uncalled for and messed up. But yeah, that's basically it. My thoughts, I did get a lot of amazing quotes from this book as well, which I'll probably just talk about in a wrap up in more detail. But yeah, so the Giver stars. 3 stars from me, Miss JoJo. Then, as you saw, I decided to pick up In 5 Years. And this book is basically about a girl. She's a corporate lawyer in New York City, and she gets engaged to her boyfriend. None of this is a spoiler, by the way, but she gets engaged to her boyfriend and she falls asleep the night of their engagement, and she wakes up in a totally different apartment with a totally different man next to her, and it happens to be 5 years in the future. And then then she goes back to bed, she wakes up, and then she's back in time where she was like just got engaged this night to this other man she was with. I started reading this book, and not even kidding you, 10 pages in basically is when the dream happens. And it's literally only like 3 pages. It's not enough information. I felt it was very vague, like there wasn't enough juice in it. And then basically she jumps ahead of time till 4.5 years later to where it's almost the time period where the dream is supposed to occur 5 years ahead. And it was just very jumpy, it feels like. I'm a little over halfway through, but it just feels very jumpy. And now all of a sudden we're down this whole other plot of like something tragic going on. And it just like came out of left field. And it's this, yeah, I don't know. I'm not super enjoying it, but I'm not hating it, if that makes sense. It's all right. I have no idea where this is gonna go or how this is gonna end because we're almost up to date where it's the day where she's 5 years in the future with this random man in this whole new apartment. But yeah, it just felt very jumpy because it's literally like you start the book and it just like takes you off. The first page is like, she's getting engaged tonight. And it's like, okay, whoa, I thought we were gonna like really ease into this, but there's really no easing, there's no background. And then you're jumped straight into, she's engaged, you're jumped straight into the dream. And then you're literally jump from that. There was like maybe one other page and then it's like, oh yeah, 4.5 years later, now we're in the future. I'm like,
Okay, it felt very jumpy, and now we're down this whole nother plot route that I literally just came out of total left field. So, I don't know. It's a really short book, and I'm on page 176 right now. So, I'm just gonna keep reading until I have to leave for work in like 45 minutes. But yeah, not much to feel. I'm not super enjoying it right now. I have no idea how she's gonna wrap this all up in less than 100 pages. But we'll see. Right now it's feeling like a 2 stars. I'm not gonna lie. It's not feeling great, but hopefully it gets turned around. But yeah, that's my updates. I'll talk to you probably when I end up finishing this book.
Okay. This reading vlog has gone on for a much longer period than I expected it to. I unfortunately got sick earlier this week and then have been sick ever since. I don't know if you can tell, still in my voice. I'm starting to feel better, but I'm still not 100%. I was gonna read another book for this reading vlog in particular, and I read a book while I was sick, but I just genuinely could not communicate at all. I barely got through the book because I was having my on and off headaches, and the book wasn't that good at all either. So whatever, that's fine. But I did finish In 5 Years, and this book honestly really irritated me. I ended up giving it a 2 stars, and I just don't understand. I remember writing in my notes because I'm really trying to keep up with like a reading journal in my Notion app, and I just have so many questions for the author about why on so many things. I know I've already explained the premise of the book, but basically we went down this whole other plot out of nowhere, and it just like made no sense to me why that had to happen in the book. I don't understand at all. And then the ending of the book just made no sense because the whole book is based about this dream, and it's 5 years in the future, and how is she gonna get there? And then it gave like very vague information on the dream and then very vague information on her future. And it was just like, here's the dream, and then all of a sudden the next page, we're 10 pages in the book, and the next page it's like, okay, now we're 4.5 years in the future. And it was just, I just didn't enjoy it. We're honestly starting off with a pretty low start to the year, which I think is perfectly fine because all that means is it can only go up from here. So that's great. But yeah, I also wanted to show you, when I had book club last week, we made the cutest little bookmarks. The girl who hosted it is so cute. Look at my bookmark. Isn't that so cute? I have another one, but it's in the book I'm reading right now. And then she got these little cups, and she had this like little dirty soda station. It was so cute. This one says my weekend's all booked. And then this one is so many books, so little time. These are so cute. She did such a good job, but definitely a shorter of a reading vlog. I didn't have that many clips, and yeah, I don't know. We'll see how this turns out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you the next time I'm reading.